Once again, this article is exposing the fact that Roc Nation and Jay-Z are using Beyonce as that chess piece. Like she's a cash cow when it comes to all the tours and the money. Right here, they are persuading somebody on the board in these Zoom meetings, which have now been exposed and revealed, detailing to us that they were using her as a chess piece. You don't want to meet Jay-Z? Okay, you don't like his music, but look who he's married to, Beyonce, one of the biggest A-listers in the world. Let me push Beyonce. And of course, if she agreed, Beyonce would be like that. Right there, out of nowhere, cleared her entire schedule to sit there and speak to Liz Kruger and smile on her face and sweet talk everything. Not because Beyonce wants to do that, but because Jay-Z has told Beyonce to do so. Beyonce's been living under Jay-Z 24/7, but at the same time, Jay-Z is also benefiting off Beyonce's status. Beyonce to me is just that cash cow puppet of Jay-Z. And clearly all of this
Beyonce has been far too silent. For someone whose quietness typically shouts album mode, it's surprisingly quiet. There are rumors circulating that Queen Bey and Have are separating. Rumor has it that behind the flawless portrayal of the throne, they are already leading separate lives while maintaining the facade of a power couple for the cameras. Then, like a match in a room full of gasoline, did he suddenly throw Jay-Z's name into a federal case? Boom. There is nothing more suspicious about the time. Jay's name was supposedly dropped in court by Diddy's legal team one minute. The following Bey was seen leaving alone. A peaceful grin without a ring says a lot. The Beehive saw it right away, and comments flooded in with questions such, "Why is she constantly by herself? Where is H?" There are even those who refer to it as soft launch divorce behavior. Crazy, huh? This is what has been verified. Ba has recently been spotted at a number of events without her partner. Allegedly, the splits are already underway behind closed doors. According to insiders, they are relocating to other residences to have more creative space. It's a cute excuse, but it seems suspicious. And the wild card that has everyone buzzing is the Diddy connection. Whenever Diddy's name becomes popular, someone or something unexpectedly disappears. He allegedly tried to defend himself in court by dragging Jay-Z back into the controversy. Furthermore, he is doing it prior to his sentencing, similar to how he used to casually ask people to parties. It's not champagne popping anymore. Instead, it's the mind games and secrets that are being revealed. Nowadays, fans do more than merely watch celebrities. They reflect them. Thus, when music is most a strong couple performs, people lose it over even the smallest crack. Every Instagram unfollow, lyric change, and lost ring is suddenly evidence in the court of public rumors. It seems as though the internet is creating yet another speculative empire. Brick by messy brick, with Diddy apparently running the entire circus, Jay-Z's name circulating, and Beyoncé remaining silent. Nobody truly knows if it's truth or strategy, diversion or demise. One thing is certain, though, this isn't your typical celebrity chit-chat. This resembles a dramatic chess match in real life, with everyone
watching.
It is interesting, as we're talking about how close Jay-Z and Sean Combs are, or were, because based on the recent filings from Jay-Z's legal team in response to this lawsuit, there seems to be, arguably, a distancing of Jay-Z from Sean Combs. Why do I say that? Because, for instance, in Jay-Z's effort to say that Jane Doe should not remain anonymous, they address the argument from Jane Doe where she says, look, I can't reveal my name for security reasons, that Combs has engaged in threats of violence in the past, that if I reveal who I am, I could be in danger. Okay, Jay-Z responds to that by saying, or his counsel responds to that by saying the following. Plaintiff's counsel stresses that other alleged victims he represents have stated that Mr. Combs made threats of violence against them or against the client's family members if the client disclosed to anyone the facts of this. But there is certainly no allegation that Carter ever threatened to harm plaintiff, nor could he, as he has no idea who she is. Or how about this? Those cases concerned Combs, who is under indictment and detained following a raft of criminal and civil allegations against him. But plaintiff has now sought to sully the reputation of Mr. Carter, who has never been accused of misconduct in his 37 adult.
with everyone watching every move. Silence isn't peace when you're living that high. It's strategy. Jay-Z's name was removed from Diddy's court filings the second time. Like the Secret Service on Red Alert, the Carter public relations machine supposedly went into overdrive. Before breakfast, phones began to ring and crisis talking points were prepared. Chaos control is merely another advertising campaign if Beyoncé's world is her brand. And what came next was accuracy rather than fear. In addition to refuting the separation rumors, the couple's close friends maintained composure. The same polished line was mysteriously pushed by all media outlets. Jay-Z and Beyoncé continued to present a unified front. You could almost hear the email barrage echoing across Hollywood inboxes, with everyone saying the same thing. Damage control wasn't what that was. Honey, it was story laundering. Here's the twist, though. The Carters never explicitly respond to rumors. The noise is not resisted by them. They reroute it. Their ultimate weapon is to drown conjecture, brand strength, and perfect visuals. Poise perfection. Every scandal is handled with elegance. Do you remember the attractive Becky? Just lemonade, no names, no statements. The alibi was the artwork, and without a single word, the message was clear. 444 by Jay-Z was more than just an album. It was an extravagant public confession. They marketed redemption like fancy clothing after polishing heartbreak with high art. However, the Carters' strategy hasn't altered as Diddy's judicial mayhem threatens to tarnish that immaculate enterprise. The stakes have only increased dramatically. Insiders reportedly refer to this action as containment behind the velvet curtain. Not confession, not denial, just deliberate control. Preserve Beyoncé's innocence and shield her from the scandal. Hold on to Jay-Z, abandoned all interviews and left the heavy lifting to the fans. Fan theories, think pieces, and TikToks. The story will be rewritten by them. Their audience isn't only observing, thus their crisis exporting is genius level. The myth is being safeguarded. However, did his name fall out? You cannot ignore that rumor. It's documented. But Roc Nation is surgically silent. Nothing, no leaks, no press, no tweets. It's not panic. Power is that. You can't explain if you have true influence. You allow time to purify your image. That's just how the Carters maintain enduring storms that would cause drowning for others. They are not denial in their spin. Domination is what it is. It all comes down to changing the perspective. Beyoncé doesn't publicly declare that everything is all right. She simply releases a number of serene golden hour pictures. There isn't a single caption, so Jay-Z doesn't bother shouting, "I'm innocent." He simply appears behind his daughter, calm and collected, like a legacy in action. The new era of celebrity PR, when the picture itself is the response, is something they have perfected. The true story is how perfect everything is. Even though tabloids are out there analyzing every headline and rumor, they're expressions of silence. Beyoncé's Instagram feed might serve as both a secret file and a mood board. Every photo is planned, every post is calculated. Jay's smile at the court might be interpreted as either distraction or defiance. Really, no one knows. And the point is precisely that. The Carters are aware that mystery is the ultimate flex in a society that is fixated on excessive disclosure. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It's control at the designer level. They are currently using that quiet as if it were limitless credit. Purchasing tranquility as everyone else frantically seeks sound. Busby defeated Jay-Z and Roc Nation, which is some pretty major news that I did not anticipate. There were certain individuals who Jay-Z was after. Busby represented two individuals, two clients. Additionally, Busby asserted that Roc Nation and Quinn Emanuel, a law firm, were essentially conspiring against him by surreptitiously contacting these clients and attempting to convince them to come to him. We'll pay for the legal actions. We should obtain leverage. In essence, malpractice, and that they plotted against Busby with the law firm. At first, there wasn't enough evidence to support these somewhat serious claims, that essentially Busby was being conspired against by people who were stealing from him and engaging in malpractice. Now it appears that has been demonstrated. Nobody in Hollywood, let's face it, keeps quiet out of respect for others. Every pause has a purpose. Each disappearance is a gradual introduction. And it's never just about love, whether you're Jay-Z or Beyoncé. Legacy management is at issue. The silent separation that has been speculated doesn't feel like heartbreak because of this. It seems as though a live brand audit is taking place right in front of us. Hollywood adores a tale of redemption. It's what sustains the falsehoods and the money. The redemption bias is that justice is not the only thing we desire. We long for a return. At the Grammys, we witnessed Jay cheat, come clean, get back on his feet, and then walk hand in hand with Bey. It wasn't forgiveness. It was emotional healing disguised as perfect marketing. Beyoncé literally made suffering into lemonade. Jay then retaliated with 444. The world erupted in cheers as if therapy had arrived with a thump. Years later, it's possible that the same pair who sold the idea of reunion are practicing their departure behind closed doors. The irony is that Diddy's chaotic courtroom serves as the ideal dark mirror. The tightness of these power circles is brought to light by his purported confessions and those name drops. The PR filters are different, but the parties, secrets, and favors are the same. The entire circle begins to tremble when one giant slips. Its psychology is straightforward. Guilt due to closeness. Even receipts are no longer necessary. Your name might be tarnished simply by sharing an orbit. As if it were their full-time job, some fans will defend Beyoncé. Unadulterated parasocial devotion. They love her as if she were family, and they find it unbearable to consider that the lady who gave the top couple may now be living in a completely different reality. Thus, they fabricate the tale. All she's doing is keeping her peace. It's public relations. They're all okay, anything other than a divorce, because losing the fantasy is more painful for her fans than losing the music. However, the PR choreography is visible if you pay close attention. Every sighting, every well-timed post, and every mysterious caption are all examples. Courts, the disaster continues to spread. Everyone's imagination makes it come to life. 000 depends on the properties she owns. Lawsuit against the IRS for a $3 million debt, totaling $800,000. These are the things that billionaires do. Hurry up. They are basically liquid cash broke because they are using debt to leverage wealth. She is the only source of their liquid cash. Because he is incapable of doing it. His tours won't sell out. No one is leaving. He is not accompanied by Kanye. Isn't anyone going to see Jason? They're not leaving. Are you leaving? Are you heading down there? However, we'll see Beyoncé 100 times. For this reason, they will continue to add shows until they start to bleed. As a result, it was sold out on the first day I noticed the films leaked online. It wasn't completely sold out. Tickets range from $40 to $84 on the day of the event. Additionally, individuals were migrating from the area where BLE nosebleeds to there was just so much room for them to stand so they could have a better look at her. All they did was continue to bleed them. He sees what happened to Diddy. Therefore, they're going to go to every city and borrow as much liquid cash as they can to shift their property and assets out of U.S. jurisdiction. Furthermore, it's just a question of time. This is where that flawless halo begins to fade, so let's speak about double standards. Only a bit. The internet performs a coordinated